G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video. Support your boy. Support good content at all times. Now, you're tuned into an episode of the Promoter Hat Series. Now, for the people that's new to the channel, the Promoter Hat Series is basically where I take a fighter, I fire their promoter, I fire the manager, then I assign myself and hire myself as their promoter, as their manager, and I schedule their next 3 fights to make sure that they are on the right path in terms of their career. Now, I've done a couple other Promoter Hat Series episodes. I've done one for Tevin Farmer. I've done one for Adrian Broner, a couple other guys. So definitely go check those out. Now, this episode of the Promoter Hat Series is going to feature Mayweather Promotions' own Devin the Dream Haney. Now, this kid is only 19 years old, but he's 18-0 with 12 knockouts. And he was able to actually have fights at a younger age in Mexico. So that's how he got to the 18 wins at such a young age. Now, he has a pretty good buzz on social media right now. He's known for the sparring session that he had with Shakur Stevenson of Top Rank. He's also known for having a back and forth with Tank Davis, also having a back and forth with Robert Bunny Easter. And Devin Haney fights at 135 pounds. He has Floyd Mayweather Sr. as his trainer along with his father. And right now, Devin Haney is kind of like one of the kings of the call-outs. You know, he's calling a lot of guys out. You know, he's talking like he want that smoke. And he's really promoting himself well, social media-wise. So I definitely got to give it up to Devin Haney. Real sharp fighter in the ring. But, you know, he's on the come up. He's on the come up right now. And when you're dealing with somebody that young and that's a prospect, the question is always, when is a good time to step him up in competition? When is a good time to step him up in competition? And how can you determine whether a guy is ready for a step up in competition or a possible title shot? Now, I'm going to have another video specifically on that topic, but to answer that question for Devin Haney, he's talking enough and he's showing enough in the ring, and I think he's sparred enough top-level competition to put him up against a couple of guys where you can get some answers as far as Devin Haney is concerned. Now, I'm going to schedule his next 3 fights to see where he is as a fighter. Now, the first fight I would schedule him against is a guy named Tony Louise. Now, I know you're probably asking, who the hell is Tony Louise? Tony Louise is most known for beating the prospect Carl Dargan back in January 2015. Carl Dargan was married to Lil Mo. He was a protege of Bernard Hopkins, and his trainer is Nazeem Richardson. Now, Carl Dargan and Tony Louise fought on ESPN back in January 2015, and if Carl Dargan won that fight, he would have possibly got a title shot. And Tony Louise went in there and he took care of business against Carl Dargan. Carl Dargan had a real bad night. Tony Louise went in there, dogged him basically, and won that fight. So the reason I'm putting Devin Haney up against Tony Louise is because ever since that fight, Tony Louise has won 7 out of 8 fights. And he is a guy that's been in the ring with somebody that was a hot prospect, and he upset the apple cart. So that'll be a good fight for Devin Haney, just to kind of get a gauge and see where he's at. Now, pending that he gets past that fight, the second fight that I will put him up against is DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley. Now, DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley, he's fought absolutely everybody. He's fought Floyd Mayweather in his first fight at 140 pounds. That just goes to show you how long he's been fighting. He fought Zab Judah. He's fought a bunch of other guys. You name it, DeMarcus Corley has fought him. Now, when you're trying to build a star, one of the things that you have to do is put your guy up against guys that are past their prime, but they have a name. And this is a classic situation of that. DeMarcus Corley will go up against anybody at any time. He's still a good fighter. He's just past his prime. And he's also a lefty, so Devin Haney will be able to get some experience with a southpaw, an experienced southpaw, and a guy that's going to come in there to win, but he does have a name with the hardcore fan. So that would be the second fight that I would schedule for Devin the Dream Haney. Now, the third fight is going to be a difficult fight for him, but there's a chance he can win this fight. The third fight I would match him up against is hammering Hank Lundy. Now, for the people that don't know who hammering Hank Lundy is, he's been in the ring with Terrence Crawford. He's been in the ring with Victor Postal. He's been in the ring with a lot of different guys. Mauricio Herrera, he was in the ring with him as well. And Hammer Hank Lundy is an experienced guy, skilled guy. But it seems like he always takes fights where he's going against the grain, is either with the weight or he found out late that he was going to take the fight. Like, he really never gives himself, a 50-50 slate when he's fighting top guys, and he always comes up on the short end of the stick. And a lot of people would label Hank Lundy as a gatekeeper. That's how they would label him. I think he has the resume of a gatekeeper, but me personally, I think he has enough skill to be on contender status. Now, that's a difficult fight for Devin Haney. Because he's dealing with a guy that's skilled and he's experienced. But that'll be a true test to see where Devin Haney is as a fighter. It'll be a true test to see if he can handle guys with experience and skill, and see how he fares up against a Hank Lundy. And would Hank Lundy take that fight? I don't know. I don't know if he would take that fight. But Hank Lundy just fought DeMarcus Corley at the 2300 Arena in Philly. So I'm assuming if he took that fight, then I'm assuming that Mayweather Promotions and Devin Haney comes knocking at his door and say, hey, listen, we want you to take this fight against this, 19-year-old kid. He's going to think, oh, hell yeah, like I'm going to take that fight because I can beat a 19-year-old. That's probably what he would be thinking. So he probably would take that fight. But those are the three fights that I would line up for Devin Haney. And if he was to win those three fights, then I would feel confident putting him up against contenders in 135 and possible title eliminators to get him in position to go up against the guys that he, has verbal spats with. And that's Robert Bunny Easter and Tank Davis and, those guys. I just have a hard time really paying Devin Haney any mind, when it comes to talking, about the big time guys, the champions in the division, because he hasn't gone through the process of fighting gatekeepers and contenders first before you even get to that point. So that's the episode of the Promoter Hat series for Devin the Dream Haney. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section about him as a fighter, the three fighters that I picked for him, and just what you think his future is in boxing. It's G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Please share this video. Support your boy. Support good content at all times. I appreciate y'all. And also, Devin Haney, if you're listening, anybody on Devin Haney's team, Mayweather Promotions, matchmaking, that's what I do. I do my thing. Y'all let me know what y'all think as well. G5 Jeff TV. Appreciate y'all. Peace.